Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us for this installment of a quarterly meeting, the June 2021 version, our very last one of the 2020-2021 school year. And I know it's all a school year that all of us have looked forward to coming to a close. Um, I'm sure everyone is looking forward to a break from it all, a little bit over the summertime, and come back rejuvenated for the start of a new school year. So I'm going to display a PowerPoint that's kind of going to guide us through today's meeting. I'll give kind of an overview of the executive services, and then do some recognitions of retirements and service pin awards, since we didn't have an all staff celebration in service this year. And then we'll go into the different divisions, giving updates that everyone would benefit from them sharing that information. So not sure how long it's going to go today. I don't anticipate going a full hour. So just kind of thanks again for joining us in that. So let me share the PowerPoint now. Okay, so you should see the title screen there, quarterly meeting. Okay. Well, first off, let me, before we get into partnerships, let me just share, on behalf of the Board of Education, the Cabinet, and the administrative team, I want to thank everyone for the true resilience that each and every one of you have displayed, implemented throughout the last 16, 17 months in dealing with the pandemic. And I couldn't be more proud of the organization and the people that represent the organization, that work out, within our districts, within our non-public entities, statewide in our work, with the PDE, as well as other partnerships that we formed, such as the R.K. Mellon Foundation, and so on. It truly has been a growing year for the intermediate unit, despite never being able to be in the same room for most of that. I know the board is very proud of all of the efforts that everyone has made to stay safe, and as well as provide a safe environment for students. The fact that we only had to, close down, once, at Clairview, for instance, is truly amazing, and that's a testament to the effort that everyone has put into following the mitigation. And I know, just like you are, I'm so happy to see the mitigation efforts beginning to ease up, and hopefully by midsummer we are free from any type of mitigation. Again, we just gotta have to wait and see how things do pan out over the next couple of weeks, going into the next school year. But I think we are now better prepared than ever for a pandemic. Hopefully we never have to experience one again, but by golly, we're definitely prepared for it, and have learned a lot of great lessons over the last 17 months, about ourselves, I'm sure, also about how the organization functions, and also the efficiencies that now exist, within the organization, using the Adobe Sign, using Microsoft Teams, the implementation of Frontline. Truly, we are way ahead of ourselves. And, we identified a pandemic as kind of a 3-period event for us. First, we had to react to the initial, like, okay, we've got an issue. What can we do to address the current issue? And then we've entered into the recovery stage, where we're beginning to see the lifting of mitigation. We're starting to recover. We're starting to come out and look at, all right, what are the things that are going to be lasting, and how do we address those? And the third stage is going to be thrive. And it's within this next year where we're going to take all of these lessons of react and recover, and we're going to apply them to a thriving period for the intermediate unit. I'm very proud to say that I don't think I believe RIU, in the eyes of our school entities, and the reputation that we have with them has never been higher. And they trust in the IU to provide high quality services and to be there to help them solve the problems that they're experiencing. And I believe that because of our performance over the last pandemic months, we are going to start seeing our school entities coming to us more and more. And again, it goes all back to trust and building that trust and following those 13 behaviors of the speed of trust and really in making that the fabric of how we do things. So anyway, that was my opening monologue. I know that wasn't as exciting and funny as Jimmy Kimmel, but that was my opening monologue for this quarterly meeting. So let's get into some partnerships and share some exciting information and steps that we've taken. As you know, we've partnered with Variety, the children's charity, over the last 3 years. And despite the pandemic, we had great participation in supporting Variety, the children's charity. Our goal, as we said in August, was to donate at least a bike, a stroller, and a voice device through our casual dress event program. And you'll notice we'll never, ever, 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 ever refer to it as a jeans day. It's a Variety dress down day because it keeps the focus on Variety charity. And that's why we do what we do on those 7 special days throughout the year. And to participate, we identify 7 different days throughout the year. And to participate, individuals donate at minimum $35. We do have individuals that donate more than $35 to participate. We had a total of 96 participants this year, which raised, that should say $3,445. So it's about $3,400. There you go. I have to fix that. Just to compare it to last year, we had 110 participants. So we're down to 96 this year. However, money-wise, we're about the same. So very, very proud of the organization and providing over $3,400 for kids. We are going to be having a distribution event here on June 24th. It's going to be focused back at the Fred Rogers Room. And once I get the details from our friend, Charlie LaValle, who's the chief executive officer of Variety Charity, I'll let everyone know what we can do in terms of participating and cheering on kids as they get their bikes and strollers on June 24th. But again, thank you so much for your continued support with that. Christy, if you can make your way over to my office here, I'm going to need your assistance here in just a few moments. Another partnership is obviously with our foundation. Our foundation, unfortunately, wasn't able to do any fundraisers over the course of the year. However, its spirit still lives on. One of the things that we always introduce in August is a payroll deduction. And what we've established is that for every $7 an individual makes per paycheck, they then get a raffle ticket, because we love raffle tickets here in Western Pennsylvania, to win a personal day. And we had 9 participants this year. I'm hoping that we can maybe double that next year. And those 9 participants raised over $2,256. So to those who know who those 9 are, thank you so much for contributing so much money over the course of this past year in doing that. And so those who have contributed, for every $7, they get a ticket into the Magic Mickey Mouse ear cauldron of potential winners here. So I'm going to mix it up. So Christy, come on into the shot. Okay. Christy will see I'm now. Okay. Everyone say hi to the, there you go. All right, Christy. So let's see who's going to be the winner of the personal day for next year. Here we go. The winner. Okay. We put that one there. Oh, cheese and crackers. All right. The winner happens to be Kathy Sliz. So congratulations, Kathy Sliz. You are the winner of this year's personal day. So thank you, Kathy, for your continued support. And Kathy and Kate, I'll be sending you an email to let you know to add a personal day to your bank. So again, thanks everyone. It is truly the easiest way to to get an extra personal day added to your bank. So again, thanks for everyone that has participated in that. All right. So as part of this executive services update, I just wanted to share, we had a number of retirements over this past year. Unfortunately, again, we didn't have the opportunity to have an all-staff celebration, but we are planning to have one April 13th, 2022. And we will be inviting last year's retirements as well as this year's retirements. And then, of course, next year's retirements will be recognized as well. But let me just kind of scroll through those who have retired over the course of this past year. You know, we have Jeff Jolly at 14 years of peace or service, Susan Sullivan at 15, Deb Ellers at 20, Bonnie Tassone at 20, Denise Puzlowski, 23, Cindy Camione at 23 years of service, Deb Miller at 23 years of service, Linda Hickman at 24 years of service, Don Demagon at 25 years of peace or service, Sharon DeVito at 33 years of peace or service, and Diane Bazorek at 33 years of peace or service. So again, thank you to all of our retirees and the service that you've provided, not only to the Westmoreland Intermediate Unit, but also to the state in general, and serving kids. Again, we will be creating your retirement plaques and sending them out in the very near future. And of course, we'll be inviting you to the all staff day next, let's see here, next April for that. One thing I did fail to mention in the earlier when I was talking about the foundation, and thanks Colleen for reminding me, the foundation did do 2 raffle tickets and that were very successful. Colleen, by chance, do you remember what the amount of money that was raised from that? And I don't see Luann on, but I know that those are always very popular, and I know that brought in some nice money for the foundation to be able to utilize for that. So thank you, Colleen, for that reminder for that. All right. Other things I just wanted to share as part of the executive services update would be we do have a number of employees that have hit milestones when it comes to service pins. And so I'm not going to read everybody's name, but we again will be recognizing these individuals next spring. And of course, when you get your pins, we do ask that you wear them proudly on your lanyard. And so as time goes on, this is what your lanyard might look like if you spend 35 years here with the organization. But our 5-year of service recognition, as you can see, there's our list of those who have achieved 5 years. And if you haven't received your PIN yet, you will be receiving that either in person or via mail over the next couple of weeks. So again, thank you for all of those who have served the organization for 5 years. Here's our list of 10-year service individuals, and we have one that has 10 years. And that's Karen, congratulations. Under 15, we have 4 different individuals who have achieved the 15-year mark. Then we go to 20 years of service, and you can see we have a number of folks that have reached that 20-year service plateau, or milestone, I should say. And then 25 years of service. Again, we have 7 folks who have been identified as 25 years of service. And last but not least, we do have an individual who now officially has 30 years of Westmoreland Intermediate Unit service. So again, congratulations to everyone who have met those milestones. Just as an FYI, what we do is we look at September 30th of the year as the cutoff. And so anyone that's hired after October 1st goes into the next cycle in terms of calculating milestones. So if for whatever reason you think that you have been misidentified in terms of number of years, do not hesitate to reach out to me, because we just want to make sure that everyone has the correct number of pins so you can wear it proudly. So we do appreciate all of your hard work and so on, and look forward to celebrating you as well as last year's, as well as next year's of service when we're all together. Alrighty, so that concludes the executive services report today. I'm going to throw it over to Lynn Liu for the financial services update. So Lynn, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Conway. I don't have any slides, so you can just leave that up.
Okay.
Just a little bit of information to share with everybody. We're completing final budgets for 21-22's fiscal year. The majority of the student services budgets have been approved by our board of directors at the May meeting, and we only have 3 or 4 final ones to submit for June to get those done. And we were waiting on final allocations from the state for things like early intervention and our IDEAB allocations. We are preparing for the fiscal year end for 2021. There's a lot that goes into that as far as our use of Alio, and we are switching for Alio to be hosting our server for us, and that is actually going to happen this week. We're preparing for the second E-Academy payroll this year. It was a milestone year for E-Academy. I think the first payroll was a little over $1 million, and this one's like $1.3 million. So it's substantial when you're talking about the amount of payroll dollars that are being paid out. The last thing I will share is that we are looking during the summer months. Eric and I are going to be working a lot on refining the projects that are going to be in our year 1 capital plan. Back in February, when we had our general budget approved by the board, we also had them approve the concept of a 5-year capital plan, and they committed additional fund balance toward those capital projects, either to be used to pay outright for capital projects or for debt service. So we are going to be spending some time this summer, Eric and I, refining the year 1 projects that are going to occur in 21-22. It's a substantial amount of money that we initially had estimated, probably about $600,000. And a lot of it is both at our building and at Clairview's building for things that were identified in the RVAT assessment for safety and security concerns. So we will have more to share actually for the probably the September board meeting. We plan on updating the board on that. So that's all I have.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Lynn. Are there any questions for Lynn that you might have? Feel free to put it into the chat, or you may unmute yourself if you do have a question. And Lynn, again, that's a 5-year capital projects plan that we have in place, correct?
Right. Yeah, they approved the concept of it, and then each year we will identify the projects that we want to include in that plan.
Yeah. So some example projects would be the milling and redoing of the parking lot.
Exactly.
Could be things at Clairview for replacing windows, or things such as that are big ticket items. Doors, it would be a good example of that. So where before, when purchasing something without a capital projects plan, then we were taking big hits when it comes to major projects without having things saved up and planned for over a 5-year, 10-year period. So I know that was a lot of work to get that done and prioritized. So thank you, for your work around that, as well as all of the budget work that you have to do around this time of the year. All right.
And I want to my staff, as I've said before, probably every quarterly meeting, I want to thank them because they keep things running in here in spite of me. So I appreciate them.
Amen. All right. Well, thank you, Lynn. All right. Let's see who's up on the roulette wheel of updates. And next would be technology and infrastructure. And Eric Vaughn is off this week. So we're going to skip over to the next up in line, which is going to be Tim Hamill with curriculum services. So Tim, the floor is yours.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Conway. Just a few updates on some of the things that have been kind of at the forefront here with curriculum services over the last quarter. As Lynn alluded to, it has obviously been a banner year for E-Academy and distance learning services here. We are just a few people or few enrollments shy of 21,000 enrollments for this past school year. And things we know we need to do to support the next year coming up, which has a lot of unknowns associated with it. But in the effort to move forward and continue to grow, there are some really exciting developments coming. One of which we found out about just this morning. We were the recipient of a grant from the Benedum Foundation, which will allow us to collaborate with former Pittsburgh Steeler Wes Lyons, who has a project called The Pursuit. And it's a career-based, career-focused program online for students. And we've partnered with him to be able to roll out his project. This is a little different, though. We're going to be crossing the state line and going into West Virginia to offer this specific program. So as of today, we're officially interstate work that we're doing. It's a very exciting project, and it's a really great opportunity for us to grow and expand, and also to make a great partner connection with Wes Lyons, who's a pretty amazing individual. Hopefully some of you get a chance to meet him as time goes on here, and he has a little more impact locally. In addition, we've got a brand new a tool coming on board in Schoology, which is a whole new learning management system. Many of you know we've used Moodle over the years, and we'll continue to use Moodle to house a lot of our online learning coursework. But as schools continue to grow and use other things, we're looking at Schoology as becoming another tool in the toolbox. And I know that Sue and Dave and the technology team have really been working hard on the back end of trying to get that all connected and running. And we've got a lot of partners involved in trying to make that happen. So it's huge, and it's an enormous implementation to make work, but hoping to have that ready for the fall. Some other new vendors that we're collaborating with and working with here, Edgenuity being one of them, Accelerated Learning being another. These are both vendors who provide course content to fill in some of the needed gaps that we have in our catalog, and they are working directly with us to establish those partnerships this year coming up. We also have some talks going on with some IU folks along the way that are very much in the works, and that's a real testimony to our success. We had IUs reach out to us and ask us about how we did what we did, and could we possibly maybe work together in some way. So those things are in the works as well. A lot of things happening, and it's a very busy time, rolling over one year and getting ready for the next. So congratulations to the staff for getting us through this one and doing it in flying colors. One other big item I want to mention is, prior to the pandemic, we had, many of you know, we had established a STEAM lending library with the help of the Pittsburgh Penguins Foundation. And we were just building up ahead of steam, if you will. And we're just getting that rolling, and it was going so well. And then the pandemic hit, we had to shut that whole operation down. So the team on our end, Jenny leading that effort, has been working to prepare the lab or the learning library for usage again, getting everything organized and ready to go. And I'm real happy to say that we have some folks who are starting this summer to bring those tools back out and use them in some of the summer STEM camps that are going on. And most importantly, I want to mention Jason Stragan's foresight to think about the STEAM Lending Library in terms of how it could benefit non-pubs. And real excited to say we're going to make a considerable investment on their behalf into the library to support the non-pub school usage of the STEAM Lending Library. And it's a really great opportunity for them to have access to much needed resources. And we're excited to be able to support that. So more news coming on that as we open up for the next school year. A lot of other things going on, but in the essence of time, I'll stop there, and I'll just end with a great big thank you to the entire curriculum services team for working diligently and putting in 110%, as everybody has this past year, to get through everything successfully. So thank you to all of you. Thanks.
All right. Thank you very much, Tim. Appreciate the update. Any questions for Tim that anyone may have for curriculum services? Okay, so we are now interstate, and we also have a few irons in the fire with other intermediate units. So we continue to creep across the state to dominate, as our logo indicates. So excellent. All right, well done. All right, well, last but not least, I think we have Dr. Matt Thomas up for student services.
Good afternoon, everyone. Great to see everyone on the call. So we've had a tremendous year, even though it's been a tumultuous 15 or 16 months of time. I actually think we've had a tremendous year at being successful at what we do in student services, which is pretty much everything for learners age 3 through 21 in Westmoreland County in some fashion or another. So I'd like to share those with you throughout the year. The one piece that I think is very exciting for us to sort of talk globally about is we've made a strategic investment with the help of Infrastructure and Technology Services Division over the past 15 months in technology needs, webcams, laptops, larger monitors, everything to implement our services and programs. But something that sounds more productivity oriented in that realm, but something we're growing with is sort of sharpening the axe with better instruction in all of our services. And so this fall, we will launch a strategic initiative with the Promethean Company or Promethean World, in which we are going to implement Promethean active panels, the titanium model, for all of our classrooms in early intervention, all of our Clairview classrooms, and all the classrooms at Greensburg Partial. And so in the essence of being leading edge, being similar to school districts, giving students exactly what they would see in a school district setting, we are now doing that in our school-based and early intervention classrooms all across the county. We're very excited about that. Some notable events across the Student Services Division. We celebrated with a wonderful end to the year with the BEST program, where we ran student-led IEP presentations. These are students that were able to talk the whole way through their learning year as a course of the IEP. These are students either with a visual, some sort of sensory impairment in vision or hearing. And it was just an amazing event to see kids presenting their academic year, their instructional year and learning year in their own context, which is a huge new initiative for us. And it's an outgrowth of the WIU's regional leadership of the Deafblind Resource Team, which has been partially funded by Patton Pittsburgh, but we continue to work with our friends at Patton Pittsburgh to grow that. IU7 has been the regional leader across all Western Pennsylvania intermediate units in the realm of deaf-blind resource. So we're very happy about that. We have expanded our scope, and it continues to emerge by the formation of a WIU Institutional Review Board. We just had a meeting yesterday with our district hosted superintendent, as well as St. Vincent College academic faculty that will be working with us on this. We're very excited. We'll see how that pans out for action research all across the county and how the IU can help lead that and support teachers and administrators as they engage in peer-reviewed research. We also continue to grow in our Step Up Westmoreland initiatives. We heard yesterday from some of our supervisors in our bi-weekly Student Services Regional Leadership meeting that Step Up Westmoreland is now going to have specific student events and a student leadership cadre in addition to its regular monthly meetings, and in addition to also supporting the keynote speakers or focus speakers that we have. We've seen a tremendous expansion of transition services. We no longer are really calling it work discovery. Transition is now well beyond job coaching. We're seeing areas in travel instruction. We're seeing areas in terms of independent living. If you've been in the administrative building lately, the Center ICE area has also integrated, still called Center ICE, but it's integrated a practical assessment and exploration system, or PAYS lab, that will help learners work on finite skills, career-based skills that can be measured and assessed, and then can be set up for success in terms of growth of those skills. Our TAC team continues to grow. Also in this area, one of the big features, I would say, other than PAYS right now, is Sarah Wagner and Candace Height have been working with telepresence robotics. We've seen a couple robots going down the hall the other day, and it's just sort of interesting to watch what's going to happen when we talk about assistive technology and how that will integrate with telepresence robotics. We've seen a tremendous amount of growth in non-public schools' exposure to funding as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. Specifically, emergency assistance to non-public schools, or EANS funding right now, is providing a lot of backdoor funding for non-public schools for the first time. And we're also seeing school safety be a priority for non-public schools in Westmoreland County. The IU is directly responsible and in the weeds on that kind of leadership to provide EANS and both school safety funding to those schools via the Pennsylvania Department of Education. And federal sources, I should say, too. If you have the ability to walk into the Clairview School, that team needs a shout out. You maybe haven't been in or out of there this year too much because it's been closed to visitors. But as we come back to life and open our not our walls, our doors rather, you will see very colorful walls when you walk into classrooms. Um, I give a shout out to that team as I think they picked the perfect colors for walls, and it has a real theme. Um, and there's a little bit of a humor inside that pick the perfect colors for walls because I have a little bit of OCD when it comes to colors and being appropriate, as some of that staff would tell you. And it's also important to note that the Clairview School is now one-to-one, and we continue to be one-to-one, and we'll continue to enhance that for the learners that we have in that facility. We shift over to early intervention, and I know I mentioned them as far as the technology upgrades before, but we also need to acknowledge early intervention has transitioned into a coach and consultative model, continues to grow. I don't think we'll ever get to the point where we're happy with it. We just keep pushing forward. And along with that, we've also put an emphasis on AAC, or assistive augmentative communication, in our classrooms, and making that instructional process and learning experience better for all learners age 3, 4, and 5. Shout out to Jen Little and Dr. Haley Noonan. I see they're on the call, so you're sort of new to the organization, and sometimes we've been meeting a lot on Zoom, and we appreciate your new leadership, reinvigorating leadership for a school psychologist network in Westmoreland County. And so thank you, Jen and Haley, for your leadership and what you're doing in that realm. And finally, certainly not the least, we wish Mr. Dom Demagon the best in his retirement, but also announce at the same time that we will soon welcome Mr. Joseph Rice. Joe will be coming to us from former principal roles at Aquinas Academy and Mother of Sorrow School in Murraysville. He will be joining our team as a third student services supervisor, and primarily his position will be focused on our regional youth services center leadership, a few classroom-based operations that we have, and also looking at trauma-informed crisis prevention, threat assessment, school safety, and helping E-Academy grow special education content over the next 2 to 3 years. So he's going to be a busy guy as he comes in, and I hope that we have an opportunity for all of you to meet him as he transitions into our team. So thank you, Dr. Conway. Doctor, I think you're muted.
Yep. You'd think I'd learn after all this. Are there any questions for Matt around student services? Okay. All right. Hearing none and seeing none in the chat. All righty. Are there any other general questions that those who are participating may have for any one of us on cabinet? Okay, let me check the standing room only area here. No, I'm not seeing any questions here. I don't see any questions in Matt's office either, where it's standing room only. Okay.
I mean, we did rush tickets here. They were like $5 at the door. They're just going out through the door.
Well, I had a raffle going on in my room. That's why I had so many people show up. So, all right. Well, hey, thanks everyone for joining us today. Hopefully, people seem a little more relaxed than maybe we were last June at this time. And thankfully, because all of us deserve to be a little looser as we were last year at this time and going into the school year. And truly, I do hope that you have an opportunity to spend time for yourself and with your families over the next couple of weeks. Come back refreshed for a whole new school year. Because who knows what's going to be put in front of us, but I think we're better prepared than ever before for whatever is put in front of us. So with that, again, thank you very much for joining us today, and we appreciate all of the great attendance and those who are viewing this, online. So thanks again. The recording is officially stopped.